Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support that I got on my last video announcing my pregnancy. I'm so grateful for all the wonderful comments that were left. That video got quite a bit of views and I'm surprised. But if you're new here, hello. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe to become a part of the family so you can see more videos of me. And yeah, don't forget to like the video if you like the video. Let's get into it. So today's video is going to be a pregnancy update video. If you guys haven't watched my previous video, please go and watch my previous video. I spoke about being pregnant and I kind of announced my pregnancy. I kind of spoke a bit about why I was away for so long. I do apologise if the sun goes up and down. I am using natural lighting today, so hopefully it stays shining for until I finish the video. Basically, I'm currently 31 weeks pregnant. Yes, I'm currently 31 weeks pregnant, and it has been a journey for me. It has been a journey for me. When me and my partner found out we were pregnant, we were very confused, and it wasn't that we wasn't happy. We was appreciative to be in that situation, but at the time we had a lot going on. We had a 5-month-old and I found out I was pregnant again. So we had a lot of sitting down thinking and talking about what we was going to do with this pregnancy. We decided that we wanted to keep the pregnancy, and like normal pregnancies you get a 3-month scan. Well, in the UK you get a 3-month scan, a 5-month scan and an 8-month scan. So we went to the 3-month scan as normal. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Whew. We went to the 3-month scan as normal. And in the UK here, when we have a 3-month scan, they give you an optional Down syndrome test. It's just like a blood test. They take your bloods and they allow you to wait 2 hours till you get the results. I never got anything unusual. I never felt anything unusual than just the nausea, the headaches and the sleepiness, which is it's normal during the first trimester of pregnancy, right? So we went to our 3-month scan and everything was fine. Baby looked fine on the scan. Everything looked great. Baby looked healthy. Bear in mind, they can't really detect any major abnormalities that earlier on in the pregnancy. They can only see just bits and pieces, basically. They can only see the form of the baby to make sure the baby's form is how it's supposed to be. At my 3-month scan, they gave me an optional blood test to check the likeliness of my baby having Down syndrome. And at first I was like, no, because what they do is they give you a test and you have to sit in the waiting room for 2 hours to get the results. I've had 2 kids before and they've been healthy, so I just thought, no, I don't want it. So the man was like, the sonographer was like, are you sure? It's always best to be safe than sorry. It's best to take the test. So I said, okay, I will take the test, but I don't want to wait the 2 hours. I've got to pick up my daughter from school. Can you post it to me? We can take the test. If anything abnormal comes up, we will call you straight away. And if not, we'll just send it. We'll send you the results by post so you can put it with your midwife's notes, inside your pregnancy booklet. So I was like, okay then, cool, that's fine. At my 5-month scan, I had my scan and everything. I went by myself for my 5-month scan because my son was really poorly, but I didn't want to bring him outside in the cold. So I told his dad to watch him and I said, you know what, I'll go by myself, it's fine. It's fine, like it's another scan. I'll go by myself. I don't want him to come out of the house because he's really sick and I don't want him to get even more sick being out in the cold. So I went by myself to my 5-month scan and I noticed that the sonographer kept going over the same places. Like, I know that normally at your 5-month scan it's a more in-depth scan because they check your baby's fingers to make sure your baby's got the correct amount of fingers, the correct amount of toes. They check your baby's brain, they check your baby's blood flow, they check your baby's blood vessels, they check your baby's heartbeat, your baby's heart rate. well, I'm not sure about heart rate, but they check everything basically. They check your baby to see if your baby's got a cleft palate. They check your baby to see if there's any abnormalities. Okay, so bear in mind, I went by myself and I was in the scan for about an hour and a half. And normally these scans take about an hour, between 45 minutes and an hour. But this time the scan was taking about an hour and a half. And I noticed that the sonographer kept turning over and whispering to his colleague. And I was like, is everything okay? They was like, yeah, it's fine. We're just trying to look because we can't see the baby's nose properly. So, okay then, that's fine. And they said to me that I'm going to need to step outside, maybe have a glass of water and walk around because they can't see baby's nose properly, and baby's laying in a very awkward position and they can't measure the nose properly, the nose bridge. So I'm going to have to take a walk, maybe see if I can change the position of the baby and then come back again. Cool. So I went to take a walk, came back, they measured what they needed to measure, whatever, and then they still said that they need to speak to a specialised sonographer because something doesn't look quite right. So at that point, my heart just dropped and I was like, what could possibly be wrong? At all times, I tell my partner to stay at home looking after our son. This is what happens and I feel like I really need him. So I still remained strong, didn't cry or anything, I still remained strong. So a specialised man came in and he measured my stomach, he measured the baby and everything was fine. They said to me, your baby's nasal bone is quite short, is measuring short for the age of the pregnancy. And at that point I'm like, huh? What does that mean? So they said, it can mean one of two things. That's exactly what he said. It can mean one of two things. It can mean one, it's just a normal variant. It happens, it's very common in Afro-Caribbean children, just black children, it's very common because our noses are quite short and flat, it's very common. Or it could mean that your baby may have Down syndrome. I was like, what? I just froze. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. I just froze because to hear from someone that your child that you're carrying could be different, could not, it was just heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. And at that point, everything that they said to me just went in one ear and out the other, because at that point I couldn't understand what he was saying to me. Two normal, healthy adults can have a child that's different. I don't want to say disabled because that's not a nice word to use, but a child that's different. Kind of gone off track slightly. So when the man told me that the baby could potentially have Down syndrome, I asked him, okay, so what other signs can you see in a scan of someone that is so far ahead like me, that could detect that my baby may have Down syndrome? Is there any other effects that will, that the baby will have that you can notice, okay, cool, this is the Down syndrome trait that you can spot out on the scan, other than the nose, because you said that it's very common in a lot of black children because our noses are short, wide, right? So what other effects, what other things can you notice? And they said there's normally spaces in the lungs, there's normally holes in the hearts, and other little different things like that. But from the scan, there was no other issues with the scan of the baby, with the portfolio of the baby. That kind of gave me hope that everything was okay. But this happened December 2019, just before Christmas, just gone. So you can imagine what kind of state I'm in. I've got my daughter whose birthday's coming up, she's turned 6. she's turning 6, and I've got my son who he's just turning 1. He's going to be 1 soon, and I've got to look after them. I've got to focus on them, but then I've got to get my mind right, because I'm being told something that no parent wants to know. No parent would ever like to be told that their child would have a learning disability, or a physical disability. It's just heartbreaking for a mother to hear. So the doctor gave me 3 options. He said I can either have a test which they inject my belly and get some fluid from the amniotic sac. They send it off for testing, and then they give me the results within 3 to 5 days. And I said, what is the chances, what is the risk to the baby? And they said there's 1% risk of me having a miscarriage. And I was like, no, I can definitely not do that, just because the results is 100% accurate, but I can never put my child at risk like that. I'm not doing it, no way. It's just too invasive. The needle was going to go through my belly where the baby is and inject the sac, so injecting the home of my baby. No, and God forbid if I was to do that and I carriage, it won't be considered a miscarriage, because my baby is a full grown baby with ears, with eyes, with a nose, with legs, with toes, with everything. That is considered a stillborn in my eyes. So I said no, we're going to rule that one out. I said I definitely don't want that one. The next option was to go privately and spend a lot of money on a test, money that I didn't have at that time. So we couldn't do that because it was just too expensive. And the other option was just to wait, to just sit and wait through the pregnancy. As the man gave me the 3 options, I said, I need to go home. I need to think. It's too much. There's too much going on at one time. I need time to digest this information, speak it over with my partner, and think. And then when I got home, I just couldn't speak to him. Like, I just kind of went into a shell, and he was like, oh, what's wrong? How did the scan go? And I just broke down, and I just kind of shut him out. I didn't want to tell him or speak to him or anything. So I was on the phone to my sister, and I started crying on the phone in a different room. Then he came and he asked me what was wrong. And then my sister called him and told him what happened. Bear in mind, he's a Yoruba man, so he doesn't have a clue. He doesn't know what Down syndrome is. He doesn't know what any of those things were. So I said, Google it. So he Googled it, and I said, okay, so what should we do? Because they have given me 3 options, and I'm kind of stuck here because I don't know what to do. And he was like, why don't we just do the test? So I was like, okay, we're going to fork out money that we don't have right now to do a test. And he was like, you know what? He says, if we get bad negative news, what would you want to do? And I was like, well, I would keep the baby. And he was like, well, then we should just carry on the pregnancy like it's normal. We are still going to raise that baby like it's our own, right? And I said, yeah. He said, okay, well, let's just not do the test. So I was like, okay then. Bear in mind, I'm speaking to my sister and I'm asking my sister, what should I do? Like, crying to her, what should I do? I don't know what to do. I don't want to do that test from the NHS. NHS is called the National Health Services. If some of you are not from the UK and you're watching this, basically it's like a free healthcare. So we can go to the doctors and the GP for free. But the test that I needed to have done was a private test, and it cost a lot of money, and we couldn't afford it. We could not afford to do that test. So we was really weighing out our options. Like, if my baby did have Down syndrome, I would have kept the baby anyway, just because I feel like it's very, in a lot of African Caribbean homes, I feel like they look at, when you have a disabled child or a child that's different with special needs, it's like they tend to look at you funny, like, you know, like that child's not a human being, that child, you know, has feelings. I decided that no matter what the health of my child was, I will fight and I will get the energy and the courage and the strength to raise that child. I know it's going to be hard if the case scenario was negative, but at the end of the day, God doesn't give you what you can handle. And for me to go and abort a baby at 5.5 months pregnant would just be, it's something that I could never, ever, ever imagine. I could never imagine getting rid of a baby that's 5. They are feeling that pain while they're dying, and I never want any of my children to ever experience that pain in life. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to keep this baby. And I googled, I researched Down syndrome, and I realised that they can live a natural, long life. They can live a life just as good as me and you. They just need extra help, which is fine, and I'm sure with the right support behind me, I'll be able to do it. But it's not set in stone. Bear in mind, I'm kind of going off track, but try to follow me. Bear in mind, with the blood test results that I had at the beginning of the pregnancy, they said there's a 1 in 1,380 chance that my baby could have Down syndrome. So then with the blood test results combined with the short nasal bone, the result was 1 in 210. So the chances of me having a Down syndrome baby is very slim, but it's still a chance. So I just want to prepare myself, and knowing that everything on the baby's profile was fine, just the nose, which they said is very common, gives me faith and gives me hope that my child will come out perfectly healthy. And if not, we will just have to work hard to ensure that that child has the best health, the best life that we can ever offer that child, our beautiful child. Also, my sister-in-law, she had the same situation with my niece. They said that the baby's nasal bone was measuring quite short, and my niece came out perfectly fine. She's a beautiful little girl, and that gives me strength and hope again. And I also feel like God doesn't give you what you can't handle, and I know God knows what's best for me, and I'm just going to continue to have faith, be positive, and yeah, have faith, be positive, and just wait and see until this baby comes. So as I said at the beginning, I'm currently 31 weeks pregnant, and I'm hoping to birth a healthy, beautiful baby. And I'm not trying to be negative about the situation, because I know what the outcome will be. I know that me and my family will get through it, we'll fight through it, and we'll get through it together. I do believe that this baby is healthy, just because I have 2 previous kids that are healthy, and they also said, as I keep saying, that the baby's nasal bone being short is normal in black people. It's very normal and it's very common. It's alright, but just knowing that there could be a situation where you could have a baby that might need extra help and extra care and extra health issues or anything like that, you would worry, because if your child has holes in its heart, or like spaces in its lungs and stuff, potentially down the line it's going to cause them issues and health problems, and that's not what we want for our children. But at the end of the day, I laid down to have this, to make this baby. I'm gonna stand up and be a woman and take care of this baby regardless of anything. So that is my Down syndrome story for you guys. I hope that this video gets positive reviews, because this is very hard for me to sit and speak about, but obviously I'll have to speak about it one day because I want to share my story. Also, feel free to leave all the positive comments or any questions that you have for me down below, and as we know, we will find out the health of this baby once it is born. So thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you wish to, and have a wonderful day. Thank you guys. Bye.